What's going on, y'all boys? Inside the top 10, we have some great teams this year. A lot of really good competition, a lot of good undefeated teams. But today, we're actually going to be talking about our biggest fraud inside of the top 10. I'll let Kyle go ahead and start off.
Yeah, I mean, like Ray said, there's some really solid teams in this top 10, but I think the one that stands out the most is the one that's right at 10. That's USC. Uh, we know what they have on the offside of the ball with Caleb Williams, Zachariah Brandt, and that Lincoln Riley, and that to just that dynamic offense. But their defense is really bad. They're playing at Notre Dame this week. They've got some rainy environment, so I think Notre Dame will take full advantage of that and run the ball on them. And I could see them losing this week and never going making that top 10. For me, it's really just the defense, honestly. If their offense doesn't show up, and go above and beyond, they're struggling just like they did against Arizona last week. I mean, they barely won in three overtimes, and they were at home too. So we know what happens when that offense comes out a little slow. They're in games they shouldn't be. So I feel like this week, their defense is just really bad. So I think that they're the biggest fraud, and that's the only reason why, honestly.
I also have USC as the biggest fraud. I was really high on them. I think everybody was before they had to play any real competition. And then we started seeing them starting to get worried about them when they played Colorado, making that a one-score game, letting Colorado put up that many points, especially when Oregon did what they did to them, putting up 42 points in the first three quarters and shutting them out through three quarters the week before that. So to see Oregon be able to dominate that Colorado team and then have that USC team, who everybody was comparing those two teams, come together and then that Colorado team actually make it a game and nearly pull out a win, it's just very, very worrisome. And then we saw them last week play Arizona and go all the way to triple overtime. And that was very well a game they could have lost at any stage of the game.
Yeah.
So not only is their defensive struggles a problem, but we're seeing Caleb Williams is starting to whoa a little bit in these closer games, these tougher games. He's pulling them out, but these games should not be as close as they are. And if you let teams like Notre Dame this week or later down the stretch, Washington or Oregon or UCLA keep the game close, like how they're letting Arizona and Colorado, they're not going to be able to pull it out in the end against those teams. Those teams are going to pull away from them as soon as it starts to get close, and I don't believe Caleb Williams is going to be able to pull it back on those Pac-12 defenses. So really worried for this USC team right now. I could also see them losing this week. I don't think they will, just because Notre Dame has been struggling recently, and I think those are going to continue. But expect another close game. USC will probably run it up on them in the first half. Expect Notre Dame to outscore them in the third quarter, and expect USC to barely survive in the fourth quarter. But I definitely do not believe USC is making it past Washington, Oregon, or UCLA in a 3-week stretch starting on November 4th.
Yeah, and I agree. And I mean, and I can see them losing back-to-back games against Notre Dame and Utah also. I mean, like you said, it reads that defense. You can't solely rely on one side of the ball because, especially in the Pac-12, the Pac-12 with all those teams. I mean, somebody's not going to show up. Caleb Williams can't put on that cape every single game and win in triple overtime and throw for 400 yards. So I agree with you.